Alright. Hey guys, this is Ben with Mustard Creek Mushrooms. Had a request for an explanation of how to adjust the water and the amount of solids that go into Thor when you're running bags. So the quick breakdown is the water fills up through a water hose into the bucket, and that just acts as a reservoir. It doesn't actually measure anything in here. The distance between these valves and the length of the pipe coming off of the Y is what actually determines the amount of water that goes in. So when I adjust the water, I really just pull this piece off and change it out with something smaller or larger, depending on whether I want more or less water. It's kind of tedious right now. I'm wanting to update it towards a little bit simpler, but it is what it is. So that's how we change the water. By default, it's spec'd out at 7 pounds of water, plus or minus, and that's enough for our standard 12 to 12.5 pound bags. So when people like that Joe Iovino order 10 pound baggers, then I just have to cut down the length of pipe and reduce the size and cut it down to about 6 pounds for a 10 pound bag. Now, you might recognize the old hammer of Thor. That doesn't really do anything. I just keep it around just for good feeling's sake. That was a good time. So this is Thor's current hammer. We've got chambers for the soy and for sawdust, and that fits in the machine just right back behind this guard. And where Thor used to swing side to side, the old Thor, the original prototype, currently this hammer pushes forward and back on this rod. And so when it's retracted, then these little buckets fill up, and then when it pushes forwards, then this plate keeps the hoppers from continuing to dump out, and the buckets go right over the chute and dose the pellets into the bag. So when I calibrate the amount of the sawdust and soy that goes in, I'll load up one hopper and fill a bag. Weigh it. If it's too high, then I'll remove the side that it was running on and then shorten it, bring it in to where there's less volume for those pellets to dose. If it's too low, then I do the opposite. I'll bring it back out. And there's a little bit of wiggle room either way in this design. You're not going to go from a 12 pound bag to a 5 pound bag very effectively. So hopefully you're not trying to do 80-20. That would take a little bit more of an adjustment. But yeah, that's pretty straightforward. I just do one side and then test the other side with your other pellet, and that way you know how much you're actually getting with each pellet. One thing we found is that different pellets are substantially different densities. So your normal sawdust is about the same density as the soy, not quite, whereas the straw dust pellets that you're sitting over there where you can't see, they're substantially more dense, and so we get a little bit more weight in the same size bucket. We just roll with it because we can, but if you're going to be running a single substrate, then you want to just calibrate your weights to something that's okay with you. Anyway, Dan, hopefully that is helpful, and if you have any other questions, then let me know and we'll try to address them.